Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee with Craig. This is where we talk about firearms policy, culture, politics, you name it. That's what we talk about right here on Coffee with Craig. All things Second Amendment and firearm related. Trying to bring to them a little bit of what I like to call uncommon sense, because common sense, well, just not that common. Please remember to like and share this video feed or the audio feed if you're listening to us on podcast, so that your friends can join in the conversation. Tell folks about us. Subscribe to every platform. That way, everyone you know on whatever platform will know to join us in the conversation. So please make sure to do that. Also want to remind you, please go to fbcgear.com. Get the latest in cool Second Amendment advocacy t-shirts, sayings, funny stuff, and then make sure that you support us, because every penny that you put in, every penny that you spend at fbcgear.com goes right back into the fight for our constitutional right to keep and bear arms. That's fbcgear.com. All right, here we go. Bam, I got that done in just a little over a minute. Hey, folks, got to pay the bills, right? Right. Okay. So today I want to talk with you guys a little bit about something that was interesting. And, those who are anti-gun, first of all, generally, and I say generally, tend to be on the left. And one of their biggest issues when it comes to the Second Amendment is they like to portray those of us who believe in firearms as, well, they're just gun-toting evil people. They're the sorts of people, they're the reason why we don't want campus carry, because we're afraid that some of those conservative students that carry guns on campus, they're going to disagree with their professor, get in a disagreement, and they're just going to come back and shoot somebody. Because that's what we do. Those of us who believe in the right to keep and bear arms, who believe that the Constitution means what it says, we're violent, obviously. I mean, according to them, if you would have them tell the story. But they want you to believe that we're the ones that would just fly off on a whim and decide we're gonna shoot somebody. Well, it appears that we're not the only ones who do stuff like that. It appears that there are folks on the left who seem to be, how shall we say, amply as prone to engage in these sorts of antics as others. Check it out.
Also new this morning, police just arrested this man for shooting that happened in Tampa. The victim claims it happened after they had a political argument on Facebook. According to police, the man arrested, Brian Sebring, got several explicit messages and threats from the victim. He then went to the victim's home and confronted him with a gun. Police say the victim sprinted towards Brian Sebring. That's when he shot him twice, hitting the victim in the leg. The victim, though, is expected to be okay.
Okay, so there were a few things that clearly they left out of this story. First of all, in the midst of the conversation, there is a person who is center right and a person who is center left. One of those individuals grabbed their firearms, one being an AR-15 and the other one being a handgun, and went to the home of the other, and challenged that individual based on the threats that were made. Now, one thing that no one disputes is that initially the one individual charged the other, and the individual charged the individual with the firearm, and the individual with the firearm shot him. Now, there are some folks who are saying that the other individual, the one who did the charging, the one who got shot, actually also got shot in the butt when he was in the buttocks when he was trying to run away. But I don't know. This story didn't report that. But the thing they also didn't report was that one was center right and one was center left. And the one who did the shooting was center left. That's right. Mr. Brian Sebring. Yeah, no, he was a liberal. And he's the one who, in the midst of a Facebook dispute, decided he was going to grab his gun and go over to the home of the one who was center right and give him what for. Now, honestly, I just believe these are two idiots who forgot that, the things you say online actually do have real world consequences, because you are in fact talking with real world people. And in some of those cases, those individuals are not on the other side of the country or on the other side of the world or on the other side of the state. Some cases, like in this, they're right down the street. And you're going to have to deal with those folks sometimes. But my point here is that for some reason, they want you to believe that we are the lowly violent ones. That us conservatives are the lone violent ones. Those of us who believe in the right to keep and bear arms. But wait, now this is not an isolated incident, right? It's not an isolated incident, not one bit. In fact, do you guys remember this guy? I don't know why I even included that picture. This is, by the way, this is the house where the guy wound up in the middle of the shooting. This is where the shooting took place. Don't know why I included it, but hey, that's what that is, in case you're wondering. This guy, this is the guy. You guys know who this is, right? You know who he is, right? Think congressional softball game. Yeah, you know what he did. Now, the question for you is he center right or is he center left? I'll let you decide.
The suspect identified as James Hodgkinson.
James Hodgkinson from Belleville, Illinois, had some strong political views.
His driver's license shows him to be 5'6". He weighs 202 pounds. He has brown eyes. And his Facebook page shows he's an ardent supporter of Bernie Sanders. And he hates President Trump. Trump is a traitor. Trump has destroyed our democracy. It's time to destroy Trump and co., he wrote in March.
So, Mr. Hodgkins basically decided that he, in support of his Democratic Socialist candidate for president, decided that he was going to go to the congressional softball practice. These are a bunch of congressmen who were preparing for a softball game. They were preparing for a softball game. They were having practice, and he decided to go there and shoot at Republican congressmen because he felt morally this was the appropriate thing for him to do. But, I mean, come on. Clearly this guy is a nut job, right? Clearly he's a nut job. Clearly he's just out there on the fringe and, he doesn't represent anybody that could any idea, any position that could possibly be mainstream, could he? Or could he? You guys may or may not remember who this young lady is, but she is an exec. Sure, I'm going to clarify. Was an executive with CBS. Now, you remember the shooting that took place in Las Vegas. Individual decided that he was going to inflict harm. It was the largest mass shooting in the United States, and it took place in Las Vegas. An individual decided he was going to shoot into the crowd at a country western concert. And while many people were offering their condolences and their prayers and their best wishes, while some on the left were saying how important it was that they institute gun control, there were some people on the left who decided that they wanted to express a little bit more than just their support for gun control or belief that this was an incident that inspired gun control. In fact, what she put onto her Facebook page was this: if they wouldn't do anything when children were murdered, I have no hope that repugs will ever do anything to the right, will ever do the right thing. Sorry. I'm actually not even sympathetic because country music fans often are Republican gun toters. Let me read that to you one more time. I'm actually not even sympathetic because country music fans are often Republican gun toters. Yeah, so now here's somebody who works in the media. All right, this is someone who's in a relatively high-level position who decided that she's like, I don't even feel bad for them because, well, they're Republicans. So therefore, let me clarify. They are probably Republicans. So I'm going to make a judgment decision about their politics because they listen to country western music. And because they are Republican, they are evil. And because they are evil, they deserve to die. That's her perspective. That's why she has no sympathy. They deserve to get shot at because they're Republicans. And once again, this is the center left. Now, I'll admit, I see some of you guys out there and some of you guys post some stuff and you guys are like, well, if they do this and they do that. Or this, no, you know what? Here's the thing. I don't carry a firearm because I ever want to shoot anybody. I never, ever, 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 ever want to have to draw my firearm. Ever. Never. If I went my entire life and never had to draw my firearm in self-defense or defense of myself or my community or my family, I would be happy. That would be a good thing. But I want to be prepared that should the time ever come where I do have to, I want to know that I have it. And I want to know that I'm prepared to defend myself, my friends, my community, my neighbors. All right? So let me just put that out there. But what I find is that the moral repugnance, that's my $10 word for today, repugnance, of these individuals who seem to think that, you know, because I don't believe them politically, they are not human, and therefore they deserve to die, and that seems to be the perspective, and it's sad, but that is in fact does just seem to be how many of them tend to think, and I think for us. I think, number one, it's important that when we understand this. When we talk, when we debate, when we communicate, it's important for us to understand that we're talking and we're debating human beings. These are human beings, some of which don't care about our safety. They really don't. But it's not in many cases like they're just trying to be mean and nasty. They just don't know many of them, they just don't know that they're wrong. And they don't understand how wrong they are. And they don't care enough about our rights. They don't care enough about our safety to take the time to actually educate themselves. And so I understand why you're mad. But understand that, you know, I get in the end, none of us are going to make it out of this life alive. Just not going to happen. But I'm not going to wish that sort of ill on anybody. But what I have found more often than not is it does tend to be the amoral or the immoral left who seems to be open to the idea of gun violence, in particular if they are righting a wrong against the right. I mean, think about this. Think about cities where gun violence is most prominent. Most of those cities are run by the left. I mean, if we were, I don't know if we could talk about those who perpetrate most of the crimes with guns. I don't know if they're Democrat. I don't know if they're Democrat or Republican. As a matter of fact, I would probably venture to say that most of them don't even vote. But I think that's something to think about. I think that's something to think about. Maybe the general moral perspective when it comes to left versus right, and maybe we ought to stop to think. Maybe should Democrats be allowed to own firearms? No, I'm just kidding. I am just kidding. For those of you out there who are about to lose your stuff, I am just kidding. I know some of you aren't. I know some of you are like, yeah, liberals shouldn't be able to own guns. Yeah. I believe in this. I believe in all civil rights all the time for all people, because that's what our Constitution is about, and that's what this nation is about. By the way, for those of you who keep wondering why I keep looking over here, we got a new setup in here, and so all of my editing stuff is over here. So I'm looking over here so that I can see what I got coming up next and what I need to set up. Yeah, I'm giving you kind of some of the behind the scenes stuff, because as you know, I am both in front of and behind the camera at the same time, because I'm that good. Okay, maybe not. Anyway, thank you, folks. You know what? Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for supporting the Firearms Policy Coalition and all that we say and all that we do. We appreciate you guys so much. Please remember, like and share these videos. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook. Subscribe to our podcast. And remember to tell everybody about the Firearms Policy Coalition. We are the home in the fight for civil rights. Got to use them or you're going to lose them. You guys take care.
If you like our videos, follow, subscribe, like, and share.